Welcome to the West Ham Championship podcast. I didn't want to be saying that. This is going to be a fiery episode. Today, we are talking about what should happen to West Ham now. The inquest. We want to know why it went down, what happened, and is it going to happen again? Or can it all be saved? Fellas, I hope you're well. You ready for today?
Yeah, ready as we'll ever be, mate.
Look, we're not going to go into the Leeds game. What happened. That's gone. We're gone. We need to talk about what's going to happen now. Because our club, I've spoke about this. We went through the footage earlier of where we thought we'd end up. And I've seen this coming now for 2 years. Sadly, this is not I'm glad I'm right or anything like that, because I wish I wasn't today. Because we are playing a championship next year. We're now talking, as of today, about, is the manager going? Is the manager staying? Could Scott Parker be coming in? Craig Bellamy? I think there is a much bigger conversation on this club. And I think if there is no structure put in place before we're even speaking about managers, the fact that we're even speaking about managers is mind-boggling to me. We should be looking at where the hell have we gone so wrong from winning a Europa Cup 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, whatever it was, feels like a lifetime ago now, to being relegated, almost relegated last year, relegated this year. There is major problems at this football club. And I can see history repeating itself again right now with the way it's like, get a West Ham man in. Get Scott Parker in. He knows the championship. I can see the fan base also falling into the same trap of being given a little shiny thing. Here's an ex-West Ham player as a manager, and it all just carries on. Ad, where do you think it's gone wrong in one word?
Yeah, no, that's a tough one in one word. There's so many things where it's gone wrong. I'm afraid it all starts at the top. Just the way the club's run. Recruitment has been horrendous over the past years. The hiring and firing of coaches, the only recruiting managers who are out of work, not looking to recruit, top talent and paying the money for them. There's so many problems.
Overpayment of wages to guys who are not good enough. Overpayment of players that are not good enough.
Exactly that. And then we find ourselves, we're a Premier League club with 60,000 fans and we find ourselves in debt. Like, how has that happened when a club like Bournemouth with a capacity of 10,000 are thriving, It's just...
On half the wage bill that West Ham's on.
Exactly. It's embarrassing. And, Sullivan, he's got a duty of care for the community and for the fans. And it's as if he just couldn't care less. I don't know what he thinks he's doing or what he's trying to achieve, but it doesn't feel like any of it is for the benefit of the fans, the community, the football club, and the longevity of the football club either. It's like, what are your plans for this football club? It's like he's just going from season to season just to survive. I just don't understand what he's doing.
Well, none of us do we? Because we've never actually heard it. All we've ever heard was 10 years ago, the famous saying, world-class stadium, world-class, which comes back to haunt even more so now. That's all we hear. We ain't heard from anything.
Yeah.
We got a statement at the end of the game Sunday that did actually kind of hold their hands up and say, we have to look at ourselves here. And I did kind of actually respect it. I thought, OK, is this a glimmer of hope? But then I'm hearing Krensky and Sullivan, who are now tied, and that guy on the Boardroom podcast said dangerously tied on shares, having 2 different opinions. And now it's just down to a manager. The manager's the least of our problems, in my opinion.
I agree.
And that's where it goes back to, look at the last time we went down. Same kind of statement. I guarantee if you was to look at the statement the last time we went down to the statement of this time going down, I guarantee you they will look exactly the same. because
It's probably the
just
same
lip
statement.
service.
Didn't want to
Yeah,
pay a
it
press.
is.
Didn't want to pay a
Lip
press
service.
person.
Yeah, the apologies a couple of years ago. Sorry, we know we make mistakes. Keep coming out saying, "Well, sorry, we know we make mistakes." You're not changing it, are you? You're making the same mistake over and over. No one can make a proper decision. We used to call David Moyes Differing Dave. That should be David Sullivan. He differs on every single manager that we get. He keeps them too long. I mean, look at Spurs. Got rid of Tudor, straight in De Zerbi, keeps them up after only being there 6 games. We should have been doing that in January. Getting rid of Nuno. Bring someone else in.
After that Wolves game where we lost 3-0 away, that was the time.
And then all the stuff that comes out now, that literally the same night that we got relegated, it's all coming out in the Athletic again of how poor it's been under Nuno since he come in, and nothing has changed. It's the same.
It was quite damning, that Athletic report on Nuno, wasn't it?
Yeah, big time. And the club and the owners by allowing it to happen.
Wasn't he the worst West Ham manager of all time or something? He's now statistically.
I believe so.
But I mean,
which is quite mad.
It's even a joke that he come in the first place when he knew that he wasn't going to be able to have any of his coaching staff from Nottingham Forest. Yeah. You know, a manager needs his coaching staff. The coaches do most of the day-to-day training on the football pitch.
Yeah. And I've said this many times. Do I think Nuno would have been different with his staff? 100%. Exactly. I do agree with that.
But how can a club appoint a manager when they know that he's not going to bring his coaching team with him? It's just things like that.
Yeah, how many hands does that have to go through to say, this is idiotic? We can't get... Well, no, let's be honest with you. He could have had his coaching staff if we played 5 million.
Oh, was that what it was?
5 million.
Well, that's what...
Yeah, and that might be wrong, right? I'm told 5 million was what we had to pay for the release clause. And we wouldn't play it. But also, Marinakis, you look at him, would you love that geezer in charge of your club?
100%.
Yeah. Everyone laughs at that guy, but he will not take mediocrity.
No.
That's what he won't. And look, he's a loose cannon. In actual fact, he was the right man for West Ham, actually, wasn't he? He was the perfect owner for us, in a sense. Because he is a loose cannon. They'd love him. Because he don't mess around. He sacks them, gets one in. You like that one? Well, I don't. See you later. And he didn't like Nuno. He fell out of him, obviously. And he fell out of him because he weren't delivering him Champions League football when it was nailed on. They were nailed on for it. Yeah. And he couldn't win a game, could he, at the end? But, as you say, to bring in a man without any coaching staff, it's never been done in football.
Isn't it the most West Ham thing ever, though, that he became available when West Ham got their first win of the season, beat them 3-0. So he couldn't even put together a Forest team to beat West Ham. We beat them 3-0 with Lopetegui in charge, wasn't it? And then we sack Lopetegui.
Potter.
Sorry, we sack Potter, and then we give the fellow who just lost to West Ham the job because he's available, because he's just lost to West Ham.
It tells me more that I need to know about Nuno accepting a job, knowing that he was not going to be backed, knowing that he was not going to have... It was like, yeah, I'll just get back into it. Whatever happens. I don't care because I'm going to get a payoff or I'm going to go...
Right, he's not going to get a payoff, it looks like. So he signed a contract thinking he'd do it, which is fair. But also that, not even incentivised the guy to stay up. Maybe he did have an incentive. If he stayed up, then he got something. But if he didn't, he goes for nothing.
Well, they normally do that, don't they? They normally give a manager that comes in when we're struggling, they normally say, right, like Moyes, I think he got given like $1 million or $1.5 million the first time when he kept us up. Then he come back again. They said, right, we'll give you another $1.5 million if you keep us up again. So they do normally give a bit of an incentive. But this time, it just looked like they just didn't care what happened was going to happen. They just run out of ideas of everything.
And I don't even want to go on about Nuno because I don't think it's him to blame. As I say, I think we could bring someone else in tomorrow and it will happen
It'll still be the same.
completely again.
The problem is, right, and we've spoke about this already, but we need a post-mortem, don't we, that determines what killed West Ham United, why we are where we are. But I think, I'm a consultant that's what I do for a living. I'm a consultant, and I go into businesses and I advise them, and they take note of what I say to improve. But David Sullivan, he's such an egotistical maniac that he's bringing people in, but he's still telling them how to run the club. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. You bring people in so they can advise you. And, you said to Addy before, what's the one word of where West Ham's gone wrong? It's recruitment. But I think there needs to be an independent, not run by David Sullivan, needs to be an independent post-mortem. An audit. And then David Sullivan's got to sit there and listen to it. And even if it's him, he's got to hold his hands up and go, do you know what? I need to step back a bit. I've appointed a new CEO. He's going to take over. He'll have a certain mandate to sign off on stuff. But I need to start stepping back, because at the moment, it's run by an absolute megalomaniac that cannot let things go. And he is the scourge of West Ham United. He's like a cancer. He's horrible. And he just needs to let us go. He needs to let it go now.
That's what was meant to happen when Moyes come in. Do you know what I mean? Like when Moyes first came back...
Moyes did an audit, didn't he?
And he said, I want full control over players coming in, players going out, what happens in the youth. And Moyes said, Sullivan said, deal with it. Then the season after, he brings Steiden in to do the exact same job that he said he wanted Moyes to do. Moyes didn't want that. So that's where I'm like, he's just constantly making the same mistakes and not learning. You brought someone in that Moyes didn't want to work with. You've stuck with him for 2 years under Moyes. They didn't want to work together. Instead of saying to Moyes, right, you either take Steiden or you leave. Either way, but something's got to give, because it's not going to work. You don't want to work with him, but I'm bringing him in because that's what I've been told that I need to do. So you either don't bring him in and stay with Moyes, or you bring him in, get rid of Moyes, and let Steiden do the job that he was actually brought in to do, which was bring managers in, sack managers, bring players in, sell players. That was his job, to oversee the whole club and bring it up to where it should be. And he was never, ever allowed to do it.
But, right, so we lost Tim Steiden over a year ago or whatever it was, right? We are 3 days down after being relegated. All we're hearing about is maybe Scott Parker, maybe Craig Bellamy, maybe Nuno, right? Yet we have not heard our sporting director. Who is going to be calling the shots at West Ham? We have zero plan for relegation, or zero plan. And I can tell you what our plan is right now. We're going to have to sell some players. Loudly. We need money. Again. So basically, everyone's for sale. And then we'll think about the team next. Do you know, I watched an interview, I don't know if any of you seen it, with Tony Bloom today. Did you see it?
No.
He was talking. Brilliant it was. I can't even know what I watched it on. Actually, I saw it on an Instagram clip. That's exactly what I saw. I think it was on Sky Sports. And he was talking about the planning that they have for management. And they said, have you got a plan for Fabian Hürzeler? And he said, look, it sounds horrible doing his interview and saying, we've got a plan for Fabian Hürzeler, but of course I have. He said, because, he said, let's be honest with you, just finished top 10, I'm under no illusions a big club's going to come and get him at some point. He said, so I have to have a plan. He said, so I identify managers, or we identify, in actual fact, I don't think he ever said who play in the same style of football that we play, up-and-coming coaches around the world that we think that this is a guy that can fit straight into our model, and this is our model, and our model doesn't change. And I was like, so simple.
Bingo.
You've actually, do you know what? I don't even need to have a man paid to come in and tell me. I'll just play that clip. I'll have another Premiership chairman tell me of what he's doing.
Years ago. That was
because it's not a secret. Well-run clubs are run well. They have plans. Well-run businesses have plans.
They have contingencies.
5-year plans, 10-year plans, 20-year plans. And yes, things can deviate from the plan slightly, but not, there's the plan and we're right over here now and, that was a plan 2 weeks ago.
You see, that plan didn't work, as you just said, exactly there, Sam. That plan didn't work. Let's go to another plan. Southampton had the exact same model for years, and they are where they are now because they come away from that model and went scattergun with everything. Scattergun with managers. I mean, you go back to, who was their manager at the time? They got rid of him, then they got Koeman, it was Poch, Koeman, Hassan. They were all the same kind of manager, played the same kind of way. Literally, they come in, sat in that dugout, and nothing changed. Southampton was the perfect model that I was saying for years that we needed to be like. And they just constantly make the same mistake. That one don't work. Let's chuck that out the window. Instead of being like, do you know what, right? We're going to go full youth. That's what we're going to go with for the next 2, 3, 4 years and try and work ourselves back up that way. Fans would probably turn around and be like, all right, we know the direction we're going in now. It's going to be fully youth. Let's just go with it. Let's run with it. And if it doesn't work after 3, 4 years, we'll start implementing other things slowly as you go along. If you see things not working drastically, you slowly start to implement other things. There's just nothing. It's like, right, that don't work after 2 minutes. Let's chuck that one out. Let's go with that. That don't work after 2.
Do you think if we have a plan, like the club said we'll have a plan, do you think they'd stick to it?
No, well, going on past experience, they probably won't. Like if it doesn't work straight away, they probably wouldn't. And with these plans and stuff like that, you do need to give it time. Like Arsenal have proved, they've stuck to their process. They've stuck with Arteta over
project.
And they lost Edu along the way.
Yeah, exactly. But they stick to the project, and that's what you've got to do. Sullivan. In terms of in football terms, I really don't think he knows what he's doing, and that is the problem. He hasn't got a clue on the football side of things. So,
because it's all done on the cheap. Everything, every single thing is. There is not one thing in our club that is done expensively, other than the consequence of them decisions. It's the only thing our club does expensive.
Spends money on,
Which is madness.
The time we spend money is bailing out the crap that we've bought previously and trying to right the wrongs.
And bearing in mind, we've still got that this year with Fulkrug, Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse. Like Maxwell Cornet's gone. There's 3 that we've got to be bailed out straight away to get rid of for nothing, just get them off the books on big wages and everything like that. And I just don't understand that. That's what I would love to see David Sullivan do, one interview, not a hit job or anything like that, to explain his side of it. Because maybe there is a side, and I know there's not, but maybe there's a side that I'm just not seeing. Because why would anyone in any form of business want to continue losing money, not earning money? There's no answer to that, is there?
But through making the same mistakes over and over, it's the first sign of madness, isn't it? Insanity.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different outcome.
But when was the last time? Go, so go on, Ed, go.
No, I was just going to say, I just don't understand why he wants to continue doing this. It makes no sense. He's not gaining anything from it. The fan base despises him. It's obviously it's no financial gain for him. What is the point, and why is he continuing?
That's what I can't get. Yeah, why would you want that aggravation in your life?
Why? At that age.
Yeah, and you look at him, go and have your nice life with your wife and your kids and have a lovely life. Don't have people screaming what they were screaming over there the other day, and hating you and us doing podcasts, critiquing your business sense and things like that.
But we've had this conversation before, right? He's not an owner like owners. He's a custodian. So he sat on West Ham until he can realise the maximum profit he can make out of it without having to pay Newham council off and everything else.
But even that, Gal, even that, I can't see. We're in the Championship now. If we go further, it isn't a good investment.
Yeah.
So that's what the bit that I just cannot work that part out. But when was the last time we sold a youth, not taking Declan Rice out of it, when was the last time we ever sold a youth player for any money?
Tompkins, 10 million.
Tompkins. And actually, that was too cheap at the time.
Dean
It
Garner
was,
as well.
it was
wasn't
too cheap.
Dean Garner, 15 mil, was it? Which was a big rise. But that was when? 10 years ago?
Yeah.
It was under Moyes. It was under Moyes.
No, Bilic was there, wasn't he?
No, Moyes had just come in.
No, it wasn't. It was, I think it was Pellegrini, the season of Pellegrini with when Wilshere and that came. I'm pretty certain. It was, I'll tell you what, Mick, it was Pellegrini because Moyes caught the backlash of it because it was Burnley when Moyes first took over again.
That's it, yeah.
It was that summer that Dean Garner went. But that's what I mean. Our youth team wins, right? So they must be pretty good in a sense, right? Because you can't win if you're not good. Simple as that, right? So why are we not putting these players in? But we can't because we're always struggling. But how can they go from winning at youth level to none of them ever going anywhere?
Because the setup, the structure within the club, it's not set up for, right, this is how we're going to play through the youth because this is how the first team plays. So when you're ready to come in, you're literally ready. You're straight in there. Like how it used to be with Noble. Like how it was with Declan Rice. You know that position. That's how we're going to play. That's how the youth team played. As I said,
I've got a feeling. I think our youth team do play a different formation to the first team, I think.
Yeah,
which is mad.
It's completely
Joe
different.
Cole told me, and I've said it on here before, when he's at Brentford, his kids under 10s or 11s, they try the things in their thing, and then if it goes well, like a move out from the back or something like that, they progress it to the 15s, to the 18s, and then to the first team. So they're actually built from bottom up, which is actually, when you think that is even a madder scenario to us, that you could even have that much of a plan. Let's try our kids on games that don't actually mean nothing, so we don't do it in the Premiership. And give the coach some ideas. But
because they're all on the same wavelength.
But we're not hearing a sporting director, because right now, we're preparing for the Championship. We need a manager, and we're probably going to need 11 players, after these sales have gone on. We should have been preparing for this 2 weeks ago. So on day one, we're going
months ago.
And then also that same man should have been preparing for the Premiership. It was a two-pronged attack. Is this manager any good? And we'll get to the manager because obviously there was a damning report in The Athletic on the manager this week that he fell out with a lot of players, that he fell out with his coaching staff. Players were baffled at his tactics. There was the one that got me the most was the one where it was at half-time and he never said anything when we were losing. I think it was Mark Robson followed the team and he went mad at him. And he didn't trust Steve Potts and things like that. But then that comes into, well, why would you appoint a man who didn't know his coaching staff?
Why would he
and I'm not saying our coaching staff. Listen, I can understand the man taking the job. Because if you said to me, fancy 8 mil this year, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I love
and that's why I've got no sympathy for you.
And exactly that. So I think very few people would turn that down because your own ego probably backs it. You are better than what your coaching staff. I think it was the famous Brian Clough, wasn't it, when he went in at Leeds and didn't take Peter Taylor and he lasted 40 days. And he realised how important Peter Taylor actually was at recruitment. So you've got this manager and then you're still saying, should we keep this guy or should we not keep this guy? But you're still dithering over it. There should have been Right now, we should have had an announcement. Nuno's staying, right? Great, okay. At least there's stability, whatever it is. I actually do think Nuno in the Championship with the right structure and his own staff would do very well. I actually think he would have done well in the Premiership the next season if he had all his own staff and everything like that. I think he was dealt a bad hand, but I also think tactically he is very inept. But I don't know who else we would get because we've got no plan.
I think the damage is done now with Nuno. I think it's untenable now.
I don't think it is with the fans, though, Gal. I think these fans really like him.
There's more over the last sort of like week or so that have turned completely and been like, do you know what? And the game that done it for a lot of people, especially recently, was the Newcastle game. A lot of fans massively
because there's no one could have any sort of thing that he done well in that game. Even his own admission, after 20 minutes, he's made subs. I want to just quickly touch on Todibo.
Crazy fool.
Yeah, I've got to say,
nuts, isn't he? He's
I
nuts.
never liked him. No, you know what? He's not nuts. He's a piece of shit, really. Another piece of shit footballer that we've had at our club. That he's fallen out with Lopetegui, fallen out with Potter, fallen out now with Nuno, and it's always everyone else's fault. And I said the other day, I'd like to sit with Todibo myself and actually go through every game and how many goals he cost us this year. Because yes, he did improve after Christmas. But let's only be honest, for 2 months of his West Ham career.
Yeah, I was going to say 6 or 7.
But he was god awful for every other game he played for West Ham. And to have the gall to say you're not playing, like, I've got no time for him. And he sums up this regime for me. And Fulkrug, another one. Like,
I
chips
just
are
want
down.
to say one thing on that, though. Is I do find it strange how Alvarez has fallen out with the 2 managers, not Nuno, because he was gone before Nuno come in. Todibo's fallen out with 3 managers. James Ward-Prowse has fallen out with 2 managers. Or 1 manager, sorry, Nuno. It's all the experienced, ambitious players that have fallen out with negative, uninspiring managers. So
I don't disagree with you on it, but your boss is your boss in some sense.
I agree with that part, yeah.
Turning your back on the club and throwing your toys out the pram. How he had any right to have the ump that he came off against Newcastle, because he gave the first goal away, and he was awful. He was all over the place. Yes, was he played out of position and hang out to dry, and that might be what he was at the ump about, but let's be honest, right? I like to play right-sided centre-half. If you put me left-sided centre-half, I ain't going to say I ain't playing. True? Addy, you've been a manager of us before. Oh, Sam, we need you to play on the left wing today. All right, sweet. Like, you get on with it. You might not have such a great game, but you get on with it.
Yeah,
you're playing.
You're professional. You're getting paid. Do you know what I mean?
Could sit on a bench. So I've got no...
I don't even think he would have moaned, though, if he was on the bench. Because he's not. He's been on the bench, basically, since he come back from injury. So I don't think you would have got any kind of reaction out of him.
He's been on the bench since he got himself sent off against Chelsea when he ran the length of the pitch to do something stupid when we actually needed him and let us down again there.
But what I'm saying to you is, he's not moaned. He's not really been that bad egg to come out and be like, oh, I'm too big.
We don't know, but it does sound like he has been a bad egg.
Yeah.
With managers who, for me, have just not been good enough. You've got to think, and again, I agree with you, he's the manager, you listen to your manager, and that's the end of it. I've been in the manager position where players are not listening to you. Do you know what I mean? I get that, but all I'll say is, as I said, you've got big players that have come from big teams that have played in big competitions, and they're stuck there with managers that are so uninspiring that no one wanted at the club. He's not the only one that's fallen out with Lopetegui, with Potter, with Nuno. Loads of other players have fallen out with him.
Well, it's not just the managers that's uninspiring. He goes to a training ground every day that's the pits.
Exactly.
A stadium that's the pits.
Yeah.
Like, so it's all set up to foul. West Ham is just set up to foul. And that is it, isn't it? We can't go around it anymore saying, let's put Pep Guardiola in there today, or Jurgen Klopp, or Ancelotti, or anyone. It won't change.
But do we actually think anything's going to change, honestly? Because that's the most depressing thing for me. Because I just think he is such a control freak. When it comes to spending his money, he's such a control freak, and he's not gonna, let someone else make those decisions. And if he's making the decisions, he's proved that he cannot make good decisions. So it is a vicious circle. It's a vicious circle.
And if he has done that over his whole life cycle as an owner, then he has had 5 relegations. It's over a 20-year period.
They turn around and say, "Oh, we've managed, we've owned clubs, and we're so successful." Well, your record shows you that you're not. You're not successful.
I think the most frustrating thing for me, right, is all the mistakes that we've made over the last 10 years. Anyone with a pair of ears and a pair of eyes could have seen that those decisions were bad decisions at the time. Appointment of managers, purchase of players, moving the ground. Everyone knew and could have told the board that this was a bad move. And that's why I get as angry as I get.
But I think that's the problem, Gal. We haven't got people appointed in positions at the club.
Because everyone's a yes man.
Yeah, no, and also,
a yes man.
And everyone's cheap, right? So it's like factory workers. If you pay top dollars at a factory, you get better brains in there. And all of a sudden they go, well, this ain't productive. But the factory owner wants to know, put them screws in that bag, right? And put that box on that pallet, right? So that's no dig at people in factories or anything like that. But if you start putting the best brains in the world in them positions, they start going, oh, hold up here. No way. If you get Dan Ashworth in or something like that for recruitment, and I'm throwing a name out, and he's going to say, well, no, that doesn't work. Might work for this transfer. We might be lucky with this transfer. And we have been lucky in some transfers. Actually, he weren't too bad. Wilson's a good example of that. Could have been absolute horrendous. It's actually turned out all right because he's come on, he's scored a few goals. You look, Tatty, Wilson more because it was a complete gamble.
Yeah.
Complete gamble. No one wanted him. So we've taken him. Why? Because he was cheap at $6,000 a week, but every time he plays $100,000. We could have gone and got a player on $100,000 and paid 20 mil for him, and it'd been unbelievable.
And then had a sell-on profit, perhaps.
Well, of course, for money. Like every other club in the country.
I'll go
the only club I know that does not earn a profit on players. Not just one or two.
As much as we should do. Pay it. And we only get £10 million profit on that player. On out of it, we only got £2.5 million profit on him. Those two players were outstanding.
But exactly, but it's all our players. They go for losses. Yeah. The next three, as I say, Alvarez, Fulkrug, Ward-Prowse, they'll all go for nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, or literally minimal. I'll go back to before when they were talking about sacking Lopetegui. He'd spoken to Max Allegri, spoken to Jose Mourinho, spoken to all these kind of managers. And you've gone for Potter. You've got a geezer or two managers there that have played Champions League level football, that would sort out your club, that would not take nothing from players. And what you were saying about Tadibo, mate, see you later. Bang, you're not in no squads, see you later, you're gone. You only get one chance with these kind of managers. You don't get given 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chances with them. If you upset me once, you're out. No.
But it goes deeper than a manager for me. Like, you can, as I say, you can get a disciplinarian in there. You can get whoever you want in there.
Oh, yeah, it's never going to change.
We might get lucky with the next one that it's a David Moyes Band-Aid and there's a player in there, let's just say Bowen stays or Freddie Potts becomes amazing in the Championship, that just holds it all together for a year and that Band-Aid comes off again and all the water starts spilling out again. That is all it will be, is a Band-Aid, unless the actual problem is addressed and fixed. And it might be we get the wrong sporting director. He might not be the right person. But you've surely got to start with, day one, who are we? What do we represent? What do we want to be? It's like, I've not gone to business school. Without doing that, I would not have a clue what you are as a company. Simple as that. What do we want? A fan. And then it goes further on. The match day experience, all that. But firstly, ultimately, you're a football club. What do we want to be? And it's hire the best people in that we can afford in that position. Because obviously you're not going to go and tempt someone away from City or Real Madrid or someone like that. But how are Bournemouth, Brentford, Brighton, Palace Sunderland finding these people, and we are not?
I think that Sullivan's name is so bad across football now. No one wants to work for him.
No, and it definitely is. But he's not even looking for those. He's not even looking for the people. That's the problem as well. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of upcoming stars and employees at companies who we could be looking at in lower leagues, and the next real talent. But they're not even looking for them, and that's the start of the problem.
But surely you're looking like let's just say marketing. You're not just looking at football clubs. You're looking at who's working at Gucci, who's working at Louis Vuitton, which brands have come up this last couple of years. Yeah. Stone Island, they look like they're doing well. Who's running the marketing at Stone Island this week?
Exactly.
I need you.
Exactly.
How much you want?
You want to get the best people in place. I mean, we said even with the kits, didn't we? We was appalled at the kits, during the summer. I think we said they were relegation kits because they were so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, who is making the decisions on these?
Our club shop is abysmal.
Have you seen the Hawaiian shirts, the Hammers ones?
Oh, God.
Loads of people had them on Sunday. Do you know, I feel sorry for people wearing them.
Who's signing off on all this?
And do you know what? You could have made that in a nice material. Like, you could have. It's a bit of fun. And people like it. And do you know what? Fair play. You want to wear that? Good on you. Because it's a bit of fun. But it's cheap. Rubbish. Me and Dave went in there to buy a Hammers shirt with a cross on, like just the Hammers. I wanted just a T-shirt with the Hammers on it. Yeah. I went in there and I thought, oh, there it is. I picked it up and I went, fuck that. I'm wearing that. It's disgusting.
That's what I mean.
About 50p's worth.
And the old club's 2 bob, mate. From top to bottom, the whole club is 2 bob.
It's rotten.
And I just worry, I really worry that it's just nothing's going to change. While he's in control of making the decisions, I can't see anything changing.
And that's what kills me, and I'll go to this now, that I do believe, and if he watches this or anything, he has the chance to actually change it and make people like him, maybe love him, right? Is to go through it. I've always said he can be the owner that we want. I do believe that, because none of us are asking, like Spurs fans, for more money. We actually do pay the money for players. So that bit, I'm not asking us, I need a bigger transfer budget. That bit I don't. I'm saying, make us better commercially, make us more attractive, make us more fun to go to, make it more attractive for players, get young talent, sell that talent for profits. I'm okay with that. It'll hurt at a time if we lose another star player, but we'll bring in another one. All this geezer's exciting for a few years.
Yep, exactly that. If you can see that progression from like letting Rice go, for argument's sake, and then thinking, oh, well, you've got a Potts coming through, you've got an Earthy coming through that are going to be, within the next year and a half to potentially 2 years, be at Rice's level when he was at West Ham. you'd be like, all right, yeah, let him go for 100 million. But we're not seeing that. We spent it on
do you think Bournemouth fans today are sitting there going, Semenyo? Or do you think Brighton are sitting going, nah, I hate this club, Casado's gone. He went. That killed me. Cucurella, João Pedro, McAllister.
Yeah.
Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth sold 4 of their best players.
Of their back 5.
Yeah.
4 of their back 5.
Oh, 4 of their back 5.
In the summer.
And then Semenyo
Kepa, Husin,
Real Madrid. And they went to top teams as well.
Kirkes.
Do you know it's funny though, right? Because the player they've replaced the Semenyo with, that Rayan, who I think did he just make the Brazil squad as well?
Yeah,
made the Brazil squad.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But no Bournemouth fans moaning, they just got Europe. They're going, my club's on the up. No Bournemouth fan is going, I don't trust my club's appointment of that next to manager. Do you remember actually at Bournemouth, that owner got dogs abuse at the time for sacking Gary O'Neill. And they were like, because he'd had a good season, it was really harsh on Gary O'Neill. But the owner went, there's something with this guy, we're going to give him a go. He's one of the best coaches in the league. And I bet not one of them Bournemouth fans are going, I ain't trusting that bloke coming in.
I hope David Sullivan don't watch this because he would have gone then. Fucking hell, Gary O'Neill.
Well, no, Gary O'Neill will already be on our shortlist. He's out of job.
Yeah, that Rayan, he was wanted, or we turned him down before he signed for Bournemouth. That's the problem you've got. That's the problem you've got. Gary O'Neill is in a job. He's at Strasbourg.
Oh, sorry. Yes, he is. Yeah, he is.
He's at Strasbourg. Yeah.
Oh, so he's off the list then,
By the sounds of things, he's doing quite well there. They actually said he's
but that's it. I'm not excited by any manager. Like, as I say, it could be anyone that comes in.
Change.
If there's no structure.
There's no structure. The fact that they don't know what they're doing now as well. It's just the same old thing. Rinse and repeat. Like, they haven't got a clue what they're doing. So reactionary. I don't know.
And some fans, I see it on podcasts. They're going, you know what? I accept going down a championship. We'll go in there and we're going to win that championship. We're going to do this. And I'm thinking, do you know something I don't? Because firstly, we haven't got any targets. We don't know who the manager is. We've got no coaching staff. We've got no youth that I think would do well in the championship.
No money.
I think no money. So I'm going, you lot must know something I don't, that you're going to have this big reset. I think what we're saying is, yes, this is the most glorious time, I think, in our history, or our recent history, to actually do the reset. You've got this perfect opportunity that you're never going to get again. You might get it again, League One, but that is too late because then you're potless. But
you look at Burnley, though. They got rid of Parker. As soon as they got relegated, bang, next day, he's out the door. That's what I'm saying to you. It should have been, right, no, Nuno is out, man. He's getting a full summer.
And that's, I think, a mad thing from Burnley, really. You look at that.
Yeah. But he's going to get...
Why would you sack the man that can bring you up when you haven't got no money? You don't give him no money when you come up. So it's kind of like, just keep the man, he'll bring you pretty straight back up. It's like, doesn't really... For me, it didn't make any...
Yeah, that Kieran Maguire was on TalkSport this morning.
Is that the Ipswich guy?
No, he does all the... he's like the financial expert. But he was on with, I think it was McQuest and Stelling this morning. And he was just saying the only way West Ham are going to do it, there's 2 ways. They either pump money into the club or they've got to sell. So, and he said, he even said it, he said, I cannot see them, David Sullivan, pumping money into that club, so it's going to be a fire sale. But then I did read... And
even that, it will be false, right? So let's just say we go and sell a few players, we pump some money in, and we keep a bit of this team and get a few new championship-style players, and we get straight back up, right? The problem is still there.
Still there. Yeah.
Yeah, you could buy your way out of trouble in anything, right?
Like we did the last time.
A season, you can buy your way out of trouble. But you've got to remember as well, a lot of people won't know this, next year in the playoffs, it goes down to 8.
Yeah.
So Is it easier to get in the playoffs? Yes. It's going to be harder to come up through the playoffs. And let me tell you, I reckon that championship next year is as good as that championship has ever been. There is some big clubs.
They often call it the Premiership graveyard, don't they? If you go through all the teams there's probably only about 4 or 5 teams that have never been in the top Premier League.
Yeah. You look at that team, that thing. Firstly, Southampton were on a roll, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
Middlesbrough
were already in the playoffs, right?
Then you're going to have Burnley and Wolves.
Millwall were second all year, or got there and just fell away. There's 3 already, right?
But then Wolves and Burnley are going to be straight back on it because that's what they do.
Yeah, and then you've got the likes of the other ones, your Portsmouths, the Derby, the Birmingham.
They might be getting bought out this year as well. Derby, I guess.
Derby, they're talking about Turkey Al Sheikh.
Yeah.
So if they will have money if they get bought out. So because they ain't doing the Saudis ain't doing it to go and mess around in the championship. Yeah. So this theory of everyone thinking we're going to go down there, have a load of fun, and piss the league and come straight back up. I don't think people understand at what point this club is actually at. We are teetering over the edge of a cliff right now.
Yeah.
With being held by a rope.
I agree.
I'm the same as you, Sam. I do think that we could drop again. I really do worry that we could drop again.
Yeah,
if he doesn't address this
City, let's just say this loudly enough. Leicester City just got relegated. They won the league 2016.
10 years ago.
They won the Premier League 10 years ago, if you're a young fan watching. They won the FA Cup. They've been in the Champions League. All of them things, they're relegated. Why? Because their ownership changed, because sadly their owner died. And obviously the son didn't have the same vision. Bad decision after bad decision. Over the hill players and players that don't work and managers. And them bad decisions, they have dropped twice in 2 years. Now, don't think it can't happen. Very scary. Because as I say, I think that championship is the strongest next year probably it's ever been.
Yeah.
And that's not to say as well that we ain't going to get the money for the players that we sell. We ain't going to get the money that we want. So you're looking at, if we don't make that 100 million or 150 million, what it is, shortfall, if we don't close that, we could start off the season with point deductions. Because we're not meeting.
Don't forget as well. My boy, I was said to my boy yesterday about how much money we've got to raise. He said, that's 2 or 3 players, like maybe 3 or 4. And I went, yeah, but then they've got to replace them. So anything we make, 50% of what we make has probably got to go into replacing them. So you've then got to sell double what you want to bring in because half of that's going to go on replacing them, you know?
Yeah.
They're saying about 50, 60 million for Fernandes. But unfortunately, you're not going to get that in the Championship.
Not a chance.
And we are.
Someone said 20 million today.
And especially when everyone and his dog knows we're skinned. Why on earth would we tell everyone? Like that, for me, I've never understood that one.
He tells everyone everything, Sullivan. He comes out, tells everyone that Bryce.
Well, I suppose it come out of that financial report. But why don't we always tell everyone who we're going in for, even though we're not actually going in for them because we think we're really clever. And then that's for the fans. And then we tell everyone that we've got to sell. And so everyone knows, all right, we won't put no bids in now. We'll wait till right at the end of the season. Like right before the season. I will bet you now we do our business on that last day of the transfer window.
Of course we will do. That's what
I'm
saying. We will never learn.
We always do.
Yeah, never, ever learn. It's like it was 3 months ago we was hearing that Dan Ashworth was going to come in and be the new sporting director at the end of the season. He should have been, if that is right, I don't want him in 2 weeks' time. He should have been in yesterday. That's when he should have been
before the season.
We've already looking at what needs to happen, right, as you said earlier, Sam, of if we go down, if we stay up, that's what should have been happening. And we're 2 days after being relegated. No one knows what we're doing. We can't even make a decision on the manager.
Yeah.
It's the same mistakes. It's the same. I read this morning. That we're going to talk targets before we make a decision on Nuno. If he's not your man, get rid of him. Stop stringing him along. Stop stringing the fans along. It's so disrespectful what they do. It is unreal.
It is. I don't care. Like, I didn't like Lopetegui, didn't like Potter. I find it crass and so disrespectful how we treat people.
Disgusting. Yeah,
it's disgraceful.
Mate.
No class right across the board. Yeah.
No, you look at other clubs. You look at City, what they just done for Pep leaving. I know it's Pep, right? But look how well thought out it was. And do you know what? You look at them as owners, right? How they've embraced that city.
Yeah.
Embraced it. They didn't just come in and spend money. They went
just think of the football
and built
club,
the community.
Yeah.
They built the community. And yeah, look, they've got different money and we're never going to be City, right? So, but I just look at it, everything they do. Like, how good was it that they managed to get Vincent Kompany to come lift the trophy after the season to show the fans, and Edison, who they've just let go, right?
Yeah.
But it shows how well they must have let him go for him to go, of course, I'll be back there.
Yeah.
And there was loads of them, weren't there, that Fernandinho and we'll
Gallagher.
fly you in. No, Gallagher, right? But what I mean is they let Edison go, right?
They just do things with class.
He could have such the needle at that of going, I'm going to go. In actual fact, Pep let him go, even more so. And he's there to say, no.
And Jack Grealish was there.
Grealish, another one. Pep put him on his bike. But City have obviously done something where they've said, you know what, we're not going to stand in your way. We want you to play football, we want you to do it. And everything is done right. You just look and go, that is so well done. Iriola, his departure, all this stuff. It's done with class, and we're not doing it. And it's sad because it doesn't represent us as a fan base. We are... Do you know what? I actually think this. I think we're one of the most unique fan bases in the world. We're very mad people. And we do things off the cuff. We fly off the handle. We're very East End the way we do things. We do things with a joke and a laugh. But we want that respect. We give that respect to other people when they deserve it. And we do, I think. Like when teams have beat us before and things like that, we clap them off. We say, well done and things like that. And I want my club to represent us.
Loyalty,
the fan base.
Loyalty and values.
Yeah. Like we idolise people like Mavropanos and Souček.
Yeah.
Like
they
actually,
have the club
like,
at heart.
Like when I look at them two, they
heart.
epitomise actually what we were, them two. Because they're not the best players at all. But they give their art, they give it all, they come and say it all. You know what I saw? I actually saw someone put out yesterday and I thought, cool, I actually quite like that. Souček and Soufal to be the managers. I thought, I like that.
You'd get them respect.
I was like, I really like that as a us. You know, like, because they get us. They do.
Yeah, they do. They do get us.
They do. And our owners, who are supposed to be like us, don't get us. Because we don't want the league title. We would love it, obviously.
Yeah.
But we don't want the world. And yeah, did we get carried away when we won a trophy? We did. Because we've never had anything. We never had anything.
Villa will do. Palace will do.
Did we think we might be doing what Palace are doing right now? Yeah. We dreamed that we might be in that mid-mix for Europe and then go for another trophy. And good on Palace and good luck to Palace if they do it because they get sold all their best players I actually listened to our recap of the where I thought the league winners and things like that. It was me adding Mike earlier, and Addy, you said you thought Liverpool, it would be between Liverpool, Arsenal, City and Chelsea to win the league. I said Liverpool. I said also, but I did caveat this. I said I thought Chelsea would come second if they could get Donnarumma and Mark Gay. And I actually probably go back and go, yeah, but they had a terrible season, Chelsea. I also said I think Palace are going to win Europa League, which weren't a bad bet. But I said West Ham would go down. You said West Ham between 14th and 10th. This was before the season started. Mike said 15th.
To be fair to you, Sam, as well, you have seen this coming for a long time.
For 2 years.
And you've been
called
saying
it last year, the season before. I actually thought it was.
And I think a lot of people have been saying that you're a bit grumpy and whatever, but you've just been saying what you're seeing, essentially. I've been giving.
Exactly that.
It's just
what it is, and my saying that I say all the time now is my eyes don't lie.
Yeah.
I can see noise. My eyes don't lie. And as a structure of a club, when Moyes done that audit on us and told us that we had a training ground of a level of a bottom championship club, I can't look past that. If you haven't got the facilities, you haven't got the right coaches, top coaches, and everything's just the same old, you're going to get... We got lucky, as I say, with David Moyes. We got the only man that could work with his hands tied behind his back to a point. And he took it to his point, and then all the water came in on him and he waterboarded himself. But that's what my eyes don't lie, and they're still not lying to me, because I'm not seeing, yes, we are wrong. There is going to be major changes at this club, because we have been wrong.
Stuff since they come in. You could see, you literally, when the season finishes, and Sam, you're probably the same, Addy, you're probably the same. Gal, I'm not too sure what you think about it, but I could, that first season under them, I said exactly how it's going to go for as long as they're there. And it's gone exactly how I said it was going to go. They come in with all the big talk. They let you down. They do the same again the next season. We're going to sign this player. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Doesn't happen. I said, look, under them, you'll have 2-3 years of fighting for Europa League or whatever, Europe. You'll fall off again for another 2-3 years, and then you'll get relegated. You'll come back up and you'll do the same again. You'll fight for 2-3 years down the league. You'll then start progressing a little bit. They'll stop putting the money back in the club, and you'll start fighting relegation. Within 2-3 years, you'll be back down again. That's the roller coaster. And as Sam said,
it's the same old. And we might get lucky again. We might.
But it's not good enough, is it?
And that's why I think I've got... Yeah, look, I've had a bee in my bonnet this year about Nuno and things like that, because it's just the same of... He's the same as Lopetegui. He's not part... But he isn't the problem. As I say, I do think Nuno, actually, under the right circumstances and things like that, with his own staff and doing it his own way at our club, would keep us in the league. I'm pretty certain of it. I don't think he's the best manager, but I think other clubs will be worse if it was run right, because we'd just have a buying power bigger than other clubs. We're, as I say, 7th and 9th spends and things like that over the last few years and things like that. That's what it is. Spurs fans can moan because their owner won't pay the wages. But Spurs also have just seen, like they'll go and spend money this year, Spurs. They've got money to go and spend. They can get out of it like that. Because their owner will go, right, there's a problem. Daniel Levy plugged loads of gaps with this. He actually, when you look at it, hid a lot of the dangers and done actually wonders for this football club. But he took a lot of the flack, actually, for probably being doing what he was told. But Spurs can, and I will think, they could go and make the same mistakes again without guidance and a structure, because they could go and buy a load of old players again, but their injuries were also abysmal. So, but they've been there twice now. We were there twice. The third year, the hangman always gets you.
The thing is with Spurs, though, they have got the ability. They have got the ability to literally go out in one window and spend between like 300 and 400 million because of how Daniel Levy had run that club. They have got the ability to do that. Do you know what I mean?
As you showed, that will probably be the unwise move, because Bournemouth, Brighton, Brentford, they're not going out spending 300 million. Chelsea just spent $1 billion. Chelsea just spent $1 billion.
Spending it wisely.
They finished their lowest ever points total. But what have Chelsea done first thing? They've gone, and it looks like they've gone, right, okay, we have no idea what we're doing. We're now not going with sports science because obviously it doesn't work. We're giving him, and it was a very big title, manager is Alonso.
Yeah.
We're going to put our faith in Alonso that he's going to build the project now. And I think it probably will get them out. Chelsea could be good again. They've got some good players, Chelsea. They need a few more, and they need a bit of guidance. They need streamlining a little bit and things like that. But just buying players, that's what Chelsea did, and they got the same results as West Ham. That's what West Ham's done. We buy players, not for any reason. Like, how many wingers has Chelsea got? In actual fact, we were saying Chelsea will probably be well, because I think Alonso plays three at the back. Now, Chelsea have got 1 million centre-halves, and they've got Cucurella and Reece James that can play wing-back. So you're going, OK, that looks all right. Then they've got Casado and Enzo that can sit in the middle. You go, and Cole Palmer could sit in a 10, offers João Pedro. Straight away, that team, you go, actually, it looks like that was meant for a 5 at the back, that team. But they play 4. So with Alonso coming in, plays 5 at the back, you go, they've already got the team. Don't even need anyone. Need a keeper, probably.
And they'll recoup a lot of their money back for Enzo as well, because he looks like he's going to be off in the summer. Enzo,
and maybe he won't be
a lot of that money back then. And then they'll.
But that's what I mean. They're coming with a different plan, and maybe they won't. And it's, as I say, we'll just keep harping on it. This whole thing. I think we call this episode the plan that will never come. But like, has West Ham ever got a plan? I think that's the title of this one. I think. But until we address that, we can't address the stadium, the flags, the carpet, all these things that are completely irrelevant to me. That is the number one. Do you think there's anything more important than that?
No, there isn't. There isn't anything more important than that. That is the philosophy of the football club, isn't it? There is. I mean, people are talking about things like getting our badge back, getting the London off the badge, getting the old badge back, and getting our old identity back and stuff. And I can understand that.
I can as well. It's irrelevant where we are.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
They do the little things. They do the little things, like, as you say, the carpet around the stadium and all that. But they don't ever address the big problems. They think they'll sort out 10 tiny little problems, but it's completely irrelevant, because that's not going to change what happens at boardroom level and on the pitch. Changing a carpet around the pitch, I don't give 2 monkeys about a carpet around a boxy pitch. What I care about.
But I do understand them people. I can understand their gripes, because what it was, they were trying to make it feel like a home, right? So their thing is completely relevant. Like, I'm not dismissing it completely, because we had to leave our home. That was why. And it doesn't feel like home. And whatever you do to that garbage bowl, and it is that now, because I realise it is not. I got it wrong with that stadium. And I got it wrong because I thought, I quite like going over. I like the day out a little bit and things like that. You know what I actually enjoy? The day out. I hate going in to the stadium. I love being outside with my mates.
Do you
That's
know
what I
why?
love.
Because on the pitch, it's not right. And that's the point I'm making. If you can get it right on that pitch, everything else then becomes relevant. But doing
Yeah.
everything else off that pitch is irrelevant because it's not right on it. And we started to make it right. We started to make it a bit of an home, like in those European nights. That stadium was rocking in those European nights.
Without doubt, when football goes, when we're winning, it's different. It's a different story. That's in any club. But again, we're papering over cracks, and I'd want to see us do there. We're going to wrap it up here because this is going to rumble on. I think we're going to carry on all summer, aren't we, boys?
Yeah.
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 I think,
Do some England
what have we
ones.
got coming up on the channel? I think we'll do lots of transfer reactions. There'll be lots of things going on. There's going to be a lot of activity, you would think, this summer. We'll continue with our pod once a week. I think we'll also look into England and give the viewers of the channel a little bit of an England buzz as well. Because obviously we ain't even got to the squad, which obviously Jarrod Bowen did not make. Just quickly, we'll finish on that. Does anyone think he should have gone?
Well, if Maduiki's going, Bowen 100% should have gone. There's no argument in the world that could have picked Madueke over Bowen based on form. It's because he plays for Arsenal and he's won the league. That's the only reason.
And he's the backup to Saka, and he's done very well in that position.
If I'm being honest, I don't think Bowen's done enough for England when he's been given the chances. And I know
Neither
he's
do
not
I.
been given loads of chances, but at that level, even if you get 10 minutes, you've got to show in that 10 minutes that you're at that level. And I don't necessarily think Bowen's done it enough. He's done it in some games, but he's not done it enough.
What about you, Ad?
I'm gutted for him.
Yeah, I think
Me
he's
too.
done, I actually think he's done all right when he's played for England.
I think the last couple had.
Oh no, the last couple I don't think he probably done enough. But I think prior to that, I thought he's done quite well when he's got a chance for England. But I must admit, like that Newcastle game is probably one of the worst performances I've seen him play. Yeah. And I think he's really struggled in this end to the season. And on that form, he probably does. He deserves it on what he's done before that. But these last couple of months, he's really tailed off. And
I'm gutted for him because I wanted him to play, but
yeah,
I don't think he'll play anyway. So I think it's an irrelevant thing. And I think most of them, I think Tuchel's picked a team. The only one that I severely disagree with was Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
I don't understand that one. I really don't. I find it. I know the Palmer Foden thing will rumble on, but they haven't been good enough this year. I think Rodgers has been better, and I do think
Morgan Gibbs-White should have gone. 100%.
I do, but would he have played? And I don't think he would have. I think you'd have played Rodgers, Eze, and Bellingham. Them three. You're not going to play either. Probably one of them probably might not get a minute. So you're actually talking about people. You're talking about people that are just going to be there anyway. And then what I think the manager's been clever at is he's not going to have the press going, why is Palmer not played? Why is Foden not played? Why is Maguire not playing? Like, he's actually taking the heat off him, because if he wasn't going to play him anyway, you best not take him, really, aren't you?
Yeah, I agree with that and all.
Right, we are finishing up with this depressing episode. If you're as depressed as us, just go to the fridge, get the old bottle of vodka out and down it.
I'll blame Andy for that.
Thanks for watching us this year. We do want to start making some bit more uplifting content, but it's just a reflection of the time. It is a worrying time. I'm not going to say sad time yet, because I am going to give the club chance to put it right, and I think that is where I am the biggest sucker of a West Ham fan there is, because I'm hoping it's going to change. Like, my fortunes are always hiding, right? But I'm just thinking, surely no one will pass up this absolute godsend of an opportunity to put it right. And we will leave on that. Make sure you hit subscribe. Comment us below. Yeah. You will be laughing at me in a couple of weeks with that, I am sure. But let me remind you all, I was fucking right. We went down Suck my dick. Wanted to say that all season. Go with you Irons.